is Simon Says. And we have a couple different versions of Simon Says. We have a visual one, an audio one, and a combination one. For the visual one, I want to show you some of these instructions first. So you have a coach or the leader call it out. And actually, sorry, they're not calling it out in the visual version. They're only doing visual movements for the athlete. So there's no sound at this at all. So the athlete facing them, if they go their left arm out, the athlete is actually jumping to the right and back. So let me just show you this and then we'll go. So you can see here, so his left arm is out. So the athletes are actually jumping to the right and back. Then he went forward, so the athlete jumps forward and back. He went backwards, athletes jump back. T is a 360 to the right. X is a 360 to the left. So see, he pointed to the right, so the athletes are jumping to their left. So he's not saying anything at all. These are all visual cues here. So down, athletes hit the ground. So they're always coming back to that home base as quick as they can. So again here, you'll be able to print these out and review these later. These are all the visual cues that the leader, coach is going to do, and then the athletes are following it up on that. There's also a Y too, that's just one jumping jack and back to the center that we didn't see on the video. So you can do it a couple different ways too. You could do elimination where the leader spots someone that did it wrong, and not necessarily slow, just wrong. Then they're out, they sit down, or you could just keep playing everyone for a while and not worry about if they make a mistake. Totally up to you. We did it alternate ways as well when we were doing it with the age groupers. Now this version, the Simon Says, is just audio. So no visual components to it. He's just yelling it out. And I have the video muted, so you're not going to be able to hear it, but I have these printed out here of what you would have heard him say. So right, athletes jump to their right and back, left, front, back, up, down. 360, they're spinning to the right. Reverse 360, they're spinning to the left. Jack, one jumping jack. So let's just see that. Again, you're not going to be able to hear it because the video is muted, but you can see they're still reacting. Forward, up. And then on this video, we started to show you what I'm going to go over next is that there's a combination where you could go back and forth. So now it's all audio because you see he's not moving, but the athletes are still responding to the commands that he's calling out. Again, you can have different ways to do this. You can eliminate if someone did the wrong command, or you could just keep playing and not worry about if someone's making a mistake. So now here we have the combination of the visual and the audio. So he may do a visual once, and then he just may do audio for a while. He may do one visual, one audio, or two audios, and going back and forth. So right now he's doing a bunch of visuals in a row, and then we'll switch to just an audio version here in a second. But that's something, that option to do. I would make sure you set those parameters before you start the game, right? Like, are we just doing visual? Are we just doing audio? Or are we doing combo? Because again, this is where I'm talking about setting the boundaries so the kids know what they should be expected to do. See there, he switched from the audio to the visual there. But that's where you should decide that beforehand. Don't change that in the middle of the game. By doing that, let's say we do, this is where you can you really have fun, especially if you're the leader doing it. If you've said, all right, guys, we're doing Simon Says visual, so you only got to do this. But then all of a sudden, if you point to the left and you say up, and you see if athletes are either responding to your audio or responding to your visual, that's where you can really have some fun with it. And overlying too, that's just helping the athletes understand what commands to pay attention to, which they should do in the pool, right? Like that's a skill they need to develop. But that's why it's important beforehand to set the standard. Is it just visual? Is it just audio? Or is it a combo? And then as the leader, throw out some different ones and see if the athletes are paying attention. So that was always a fun one to run with the kids as well. Again, you could play a couple different ways. The elimination, so especially the elimination, that's where I really tried to have fun. If I'm just doing audio, I throw in a visual, see which kids react. Okay, you're out. And then we get down to the winner. And usually what we would do is the winner would then be the leader for the next round as well. So it's always good to rotate the kids in and being the leader and not just always the coach.